The Angels season comes to an end, and it ends in a way that perfectly summarizes this team and Taylor Ward.
You are Locked On Angels, your daily Los Angeles Angels podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On Angels your first listen of the day. Friday's game for the Angels had something unique happen, and we're going to share with you about what that was. Saturday's game had some kind of good news during a really bad game, and then Sunday's game, well, it ended in the perfect way possible for the Angels. Before we talk about the Angels, we want to thank our sponsor, 5 Hour Energy. Enough with the boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Go to 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today.
Thanks for being here for this episode of Locked On Angels, where it's your team every day. You've got the Frisch Brothers here with you, a.k.a. the Super Halo Bros. My name is Jon, and that's my brother Mike.
And my name is Mike, and that's my brother Jon.
Hey, we're so glad that you're here with us. We're talking Angels baseball with you Monday through Friday, every single weekday. In fact, now that the season's over, you can count on us for all the news and information that's going to be coming out over the off season. And we're here 5 days a week still. So don't tune out, because we're going to be having our conversations 5 days a week until about mid-December. Then we'll go down to 3 episodes a week just to keep you posted. Hey, by the way, the 2025 roster report cards, we do a roster report card every year on the show, and it's time for the 2025 edition. So if you'd like to be involved with that, it's very easy. There's a link in the episode description. It'll take you to a Google survey. And from there, you can grade these players 1 to 5, or I'm sorry, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, something like that. And you'll be able to give us your grade and leave a couple of comments. We always share the most common comments, because often people have the very same thoughts about these players. And we see themes come up among the players of, this guy's good, this guy wasn't so good, too many strikeouts, too many home runs, whatever the case might be. We're going to share your grades on the show next week. So again, get in that episode description, find the link, and fill out that Google survey for us. We'd love to have your part in next week's conversation.
Jon, the season is over. The Angels finish at 72-90, second straight 90-loss season. But they did get a win before they lost 2 games this weekend, and that was on Friday. They won 4-3. We've got a few takeaways from that game. First takeaway is Kyle Hendricks had his last start, and it went kind of how the season went for him. It was not bad, right? He went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 were earned. He struck out 8 in this game and passed Mark Gubiza on the all-time strikeout list, gave him a tip of the cap as he walked off the mound. Johnny had the Astros off balance with his changeup and his sinker. Again, it's exactly what he's done all season long. But then there was this one moment that I felt was a very brain-dead moment for the Angels coaching staff, and it came in the top of the 5th. Kyle Hendricks gets the first 2 outs pretty easily. Then Denzer Guzman makes an error, and Carlos Correa reaches. And then Ray Montgomery comes out to remove Kyle Hendricks from the game. And Kyle had to fight to stay in the game. And, of course, it paid off. Kyle got Christian Walker to line out. And it was frustrating for me, Jon, and I call it a brain-dead moment, because the Angels are not playing for anything.
Right.
And yet Ray Montgomery is like, well, a base runner got on, and this is the 3rd time through the order for Kyle Hendricks, and so we got to make this decision to pull Kyle Hendricks out of the game, because the analytics say that we got to pull Kyle Hendricks out of the game. There's no guts on this guy. He doesn't have any guts to manage, and he doesn't do anything outside of what is in front of him on a document or a piece of paper, and it was really pathetic. It was frustrating, and I think it was a brain-dead moment there, because this guy could potentially be retired in the offseason, hasn't announced that yet. And yet you're like, 4 2/3, probably got to pull him because we don't want to. Really? I mean, come on. That was a dumb decision. I'm glad that Hendricks fought to stay in the game. And
it wasn't even Hendricks' fault that that Correa made the made the play, or I should say got on base, right? Because Guzman made an error, which is fine. But let the guy get out of the inning. Good grief. And who are you going to go to? Connor Brogdon for the 847th time? Right? Like, good grief. So, yeah, just that's Ray's version of not reading the room.
Yeah.
Right, Mike, because we talked about all season long how these hitters need to read the room and they need to understand the situation. But when it comes to Ray Montgomery not reading the room in that moment, give the World Series champion veteran who might be putting up his last start in your uniform a chance to have, to qualify for a win, for goodness sakes. And And so that's where we ended up with Kyle Hendricks. So, every Angels player was at the top of the dugout giving Kyle Hendricks a standing ovation as he walked off the mound. Here's what he looks like at the end of this season. First of all, he said he hasn't still decided on if this was his final start of his career yet.
Yeah.
He's going to take some time to reflect on that in the offseason. 31 games for the Angels, 164 and 2/3 innings pitched, 114 strikeouts, a 4.76 ERA, and a 1.28 WHIP. Mike, your thoughts on that final stat line?
Not bad. Kind of good, right? I mean, for what you got, what you paid for.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't pay very much for him, and he was able to eat some innings, and he pitched all season long. And I mean, if we're gonna just hit copy and paste and repeat on these things, then why not bring him back if he doesn't retire? If this is the guy that he's going to be, although if we bring him back because he doesn't retire, it doesn't mean that it's going to be a benefit to the Angels, because the Angels need better arms. They need more pitching. This isn't the way to go, but I could see them trying to finagle their way into trying to get some cheapies to get some innings for them, right? And I'm not opposed to having somebody that can eat some innings for you. I'm opposed to having somebody that can eat some innings who you know is probably not going to be significant on the mound for you, right? I think they got the best version of Kyle Hendricks that they could get at the age that he is. And so, good season, right? Like that's how you respond to it.
Yeah. And it's an improvement over what he was able to do last year. He was dealing with injury in and out of the bullpen. So, like you said, an arm that 8 innings and 164 and 2/3, that's what he ate up. And so there you go. Very often he put them in a situation to win. I would say, more than half the time, right? Because he would leave these games with 3 runs or less, and sometimes have his blowups. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Second takeaway from this game, Mike, the Angels had to fight their way back into this game, and they were led by Mike Trout hitting 2 home runs. They went down 3-0 in the top of the 4th, but Mike Trout got the Angels on the board in the bottom of the 4th with his 24th home run of the season. And that was his 3rd homer in the last 5 games. At that point, first of this game on Friday, bottom of the 5th, Denzer Guzman hits a double and Christian Moore scored. I think we had back-to-back doubles in that situation from both those guys, which is awesome. Bottom of the 7th, the Angels tied the game on a Chris Taylor RBI single with 2 outs. That scored Denzer Guzman, who was on base after a single. And then after 4 walks in the first 2 innings, the Angels walked just once more in this game. In the bottom of the 8th, Trout hit his 2nd home run of the game and a line drive over the big wall in right field. 4th home run in 5 games at that point. That gave the Halos the 1-run lead. That was Trout's 30th career multi-home run game, which is an Angels record. Active players to have 10 seasons of 25-plus home runs include Manny Machado, Giancarlo Stanton, and Mike Trout. So this leads to the question, what does a game like this do for Mike Trout, and how much do you think getting to 400 homers was the rally monkey on his back, right, Mike?
Yeah, felt like that was the rally monkey based off of his reaction after getting the 400th home run. A lot of emotion, some tears, got choked up, right? We're going to talk about Mike Trout in the 3rd segment and his swing specifically, but what I think a game like this does for Mike Trout is it makes him hungry to really prove himself. Most games he's played since 2019, a guy who in the last weekend of the series looked like Mike Trout again. I know that it wasn't exactly what Mike Trout has been, but he's hit a lot of home runs. He showed a lot of power. The ironic thing, John, is he had all of these home runs and he only had 6 RBIs. And so that shows the fatal flaw in this Angel lineup, that they aren't getting on base for him, which brings us to the 3rd takeaway, John. The Angels, surprise, surprise, only struck out 4 times. They put the ball in play in this game. They tried to take the extra base, lots of contact, and a much better ball game. And then suddenly they get to Saturday and Sunday and their brain falls out the side of their head. They don't play like that anymore. But this game, they looked like a team. They looked like they were ready to go out there and take some bags. They looked like they were going to go out there and hustle. They looked fired up. And I think they wanted to knock the Astros out of the playoffs, and they wanted to do it. And so I think that was part of the motivation for Friday night's game.
It's funny. I saw some Dodger fans online who were shouting out, number 1, Chris Taylor for having the RBI that tied the game, and then Kenley Jansen closing it down 4-3 for the Angels. And it was like a little 2017 sweet revenge for those guys because they were part of that 2017 team. So, and then the other part was Mike Trout hitting the go-ahead home run, which was really cool to see. Fourth takeaway, Mike, and this is another unique aspect to this unique win the Angels had. All 9 position players in the starting lineup made their MLB debut with the Angels. It began with Shawnuel, Trout, Ward, and Adell. Then there's Rengifo, O'Hoppe, and Christian Moore, Denzer Guzman, and Bryce Teodosio, all Halo rookies when they made their major league debut. Does that mean anything? Is that significant in any sort of way?
I think that we still need some time, right? We still need some time for some of these guys to say, man, that's what it all started. Look at how great they are, right? I know that there's been some narrative about Denzer Guzman being the starting third baseman in 2026. I think that that's really moving really fast because this guy is still looking overmatched at the plate. I get that he has to learn how to be a major league ball player at the major league level. I don't think him learning to be a major league ball player at the major league level would be wise for Denzer Guzman. His defense looks pretty good and he looks like a ball player. I'm excited for him. I'd just love to see him develop a bit more. And if he does it really quickly in the minor leagues, then bring him back up. But I think what's significant about this is that the Angels get this knock that they don't develop anybody. All of these guys made their major league debut on their roster. The only guy really that was in the lineup that they didn't develop was Logan O'Hoppe because they traded for him, right? Everybody else they've drafted, they've brought up, and that's significant. I know that there's still time to prove themselves, and that's where I would pump the brakes and say, I would love to have this conversation in a year, maybe 2 years from now, and see where each of these players are at. And if they're performing and they're producing, then that makes this moment even more significant.
Yeah, I think it's significant because, again, it's the narrative of, what do the Angels have in their farm system? And a lot of these guys still need time, and that's okay. But this is the perfect time to do that, especially in the month of September. I know we're going to talk about Caden Dana and his outing in the next segment, but I'm grateful that he stayed with the team all through September. Remember last year he came up and was eventually sent back down.
Yep.
I'm grateful that he was able to stick with the team. They gave Aldegheri a start on Sunday, and that's exactly what they need to do. They need to give these guys a look at the end of the season. And I see people making judgment calls. Dana stinks. Get him off the team. He's 21, right?
Yeah.
And it's not anybody who's smart and watches Locked On Angels. It's just randos on Twitter saying, hey, get rid of him. They need time. And that's really what this is for. And the problem is we say, well, let the kids play. And then there will be bozos who say, get rid of him. He stinks, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of time to watch these guys develop and see where they end up in the off season and whether or not they have a factor in 2026. Thanks for making Locked On Angels your first listen of the day. Coming up, the Angels had a fitting end to the season on Sunday, and we'll share just how fitting it was in segment 3. We've got that and so much more here in just a minute.
Everydayers caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5-hour energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs of caffeine. It matches a 12-ounce cup of coffee. Plus, it's got B12 vitamins and nutrients with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. That's what you're going to love the most. And they're portable. You can take them wherever you're at. Get a boost wherever you need. And the best news, it works fast. It's sugar-free. So again, you're not going to have to worry about crashing out later. If you crash out because you lose your temper, that's one thing. But if you crash out because you're low on sugar, not going to happen with 5-hour energy. Enough with the boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to get your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-hour energy shots. You can get those favorites of yours and others, and you can be bold and try something new in the store or online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today.
And today's show is brought to you by our friends at Zippix Toothpicks. So whether you're looking for a nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy those nicotine cravings and the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping and smoking. They got 6 great flavors with 2 milligram and 3 milligram nicotine options. And then if you need an energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. Grab the caffeine toothpicks before a big meeting or a long drive. They give you all the energy without all the jitters. And they got flavors like peppermint watermelon ice that taste really great. So go to zippixtoothpicks.com. Use the code Locked On for 10% off your order. You must be 21 or older to order. Warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's ZippixToothpicks.com. Promo code Locked On. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix Toothpicks.
This is the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Angels your first listen of the day. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And whether you're watching or listening, come on over to YouTube, get into the conversation, find today's show. We'd love to hear from you. And while you're there, hit that like and subscribe button, and you can tag us and talk to us on social media at Locked On Angels on Twitter and at Super Halo Bros on Twitter and Instagram. We'd love your thoughts on today's discussion.
Mike, Friday, a great game. Kyle Hendricks, possibly his last start. Mike Trout, go-ahead home run. Kenley Jansen doing what he's done all season, shutting it down and handing the Astros a loss. Why do I have Braves on the mind?
He was brave.
Maybe that's it. Thanks for saving me there. Saturday's game, back to the
Not
regular. Not too good. Back to the way things have been.
Yeah.
Now, while this game was happening, our first takeaway here is, while this game was happening, the Astros were eliminated from the playoffs. First time in, 9 years? 10 years?
2016.
Oh, good grief, man. So the Guardians walked it off in their game on Saturday, which meant the Stros were out, and the win the night before helped knock them out. So the Angels gave the assist to the Guardians there. That also meant that the Astros would remove some of their starters in their after their first at bat. So Altuve was out, Isaac Paredes left, Carlos Correa was replaced in the third inning, which should have made it easier for Caden Dana, who started this game, but it didn't quite help him out the way that we thought it would, did it, Mike?
Yeah, second takeaway is Dana had his longest outing of his career, went 7 innings, gave up 5 hits. That looks good on the line, the stat line. Problem was he gave up 5 runs and walked 1 and struck out 5. And those 5 runs came on 3 home runs, which really hurt him. I did love that he was allowed to go 7 innings, that they didn't try to pull him out.
4 2/3 innings, right?
Right. I love that they let him go deep into this game. I think this is an example of how you help these young guys improve. You give them an opportunity to prove themselves, and this start was an opportunity for Caden Dana to prove himself because he did struggle in 2 innings, gave up 2 runs in 1 inning and gave up 3 runs in the other. But then Johnny was able to spread the hits out a bit and, again, pitch into the 7th inning, and he didn't reach 100 pitches by the time he was done in that 7th inning. So overall, a pretty good start. This is a similar start to what Caden Dana has done all season long. Very same amount of runs, similar amount of hits, but it did feel like maybe a moment of growth for Caden Dana. Would you agree?
I think so, because this is a belief that I have long held, and I'm sure longtime everydayers have heard me say this. I will take 1 mistake pitch that leads to a home run over 8 walks and 8 hits, right? Because look, Mike, 5 hits, 3 of those obviously home runs, and then all the runs came on the home run. 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. That's why he was able to pitch efficiently and pitch as deep as he went and not even touch 100 pitches. And the reason why you see these home runs is because of a mislocation, a bad pitch, 1 bad pitch that a professional baseball player will certainly take advantage of and put it over the wall. That's exactly what happened to Caden Dana here. And that shows growth. And the reason why is because he's been toiling around in AA and AAA, where the guys might not take those pitches for a ride. But now he's up in the majors, and those guys aren't going to let you get away with a mistake pitch. And so with Caden Dana, and he even agreed, I believe in his article, in Jeff Fletcher's article, he spoke about Caden Dana's outing here. And he said, I realized what I need to do. I made some mistakes. I didn't get the location that I wanted. I know what I need to work on and things like that. That's growth. That's how you know that the guy is taking a step forward. Because again, it wasn't traffic all over the bases. It wasn't old Reed Detmers or Patrick Sandoval or Griffin Canning just getting hit around and giving up, like I said, 8 walks. It was 3 mistake pitches that major league ball players are going to take advantage of, especially when you're 21 years old. And this is your 4th outing of the year in the major leagues. So that's how I feel about it. I felt like it was a step forward for him.
There's something in the water in the minor leagues, maybe in AAA, because every time they've asked these guys, Aldegheri, Dana, and even Jack Kahanowitz, like when they struggled, their answer hasn't been, I don't know, man. I'm grinding out there. Their answer has been, I know what I need to do, and I know where I messed up. And Dana knew I missed location. Yeah. Sam Aldegheri on Sunday said, I missed location. Like they knew what they were doing. They knew where they messed up. That's what I love to hear. That's why 7 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs doesn't bother me as much as 4 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 walks. Right? Like,
get rid of him. He stinks.
And that typically is the response, right? Overall, though, I love what I'm hearing from these young guys. Even though they haven't turned that into performance yet, we have to be reminded they're young. They're young, 20-plus-year-olds, right? Yeah. And they're still learning how to pitch in the major league. John, our third takeaway, the Angels offense went silent on Saturday. They did have 4 walks in the first 2 innings, but they didn't score, and it was kind of typical Angels, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the first inning, Trout and Ward each walked with 1 out, and then Adell and Ohapi popped out and grounded out. Second inning, the Angels do it again. Oswald Peraza and Christian Moore both walk. Denzer Guzman popped out. Bryce Teodosio struck out, and Rengifo pops out. And the Angels had 1 hit through 4 innings, and it was Taylor Ward's single in the bottom of the 3rd. Now, things did pick up for a moment in the bottom of the 6th. After a Trout single, Joe Adell doubled him in, and Trout came around to score. Unfortunately, all the Angels' outs in the 6th came via the strikeout, Mike. Yeah. They didn't move runners over. They didn't score more than 1 run. And so it was a classic Halos after Friday night's game where they looked like, once again, a different team, which we've seen flashes of. And then they went right back to their strikeout ways on Saturday night. Well,
and we see what contact can do, especially when you have a speedster, somebody who knows how to run the bases, like Mike Trout. He's at first, and he scores on a double, and he hustled in. That's what happens when you make contact. Yeah. If you don't make contact, you don't have these moments. Luckily, Joe made contact, crushed the ball, and Mike Trout read it perfectly and came around to score, slid into home. It was good to see him do that. It was good to see that his knee was able to handle that. This is the team that they have. They have guys that can do this. They have guys that run the bases well. They have speed and Bryce Teodosio and Christian Moore and Zach Neto. Problem is that when you swing and miss, you're not putting the ball in play. So you have no opportunities to move runners over. And when you walk a lot, which they haven't done, they've struck out a lot. When you walk a lot, if you're moving the runners over, you have an opportunity to get a run maybe without a hit. Yeah. But they weren't able to do that on Saturday either.
It reminds me of, in MLB The Show, you can create your own player and have a road to the show, or not road to the show, but it's your career mode, right? Where you play as your individual player. It would be like if you started a player and didn't change anything about him. You didn't change the looks. You didn't change, his attributes. And then you just made 9 of those guys. Yeah. Right. And then you expect to do the same thing with the same kind of player for all 9 guys in the lineup. Everybody is unique. Everybody's different. Yep. I know Bryce Teodosio got his first home run the other night, and that was fun and exciting for him. But those things are a bonus when they happen. It's like Nolan Shonowell said, I could probably hit 25 home runs if I really wanted to, but that's not what the team needs from me. The team needs me to put the ball in play. And so that recognition, I think, is really unique. I think it also speaks against what the agenda has been for this staff 1 through 9, and the hitting coach and all of that. It doesn't make any sense to try to make everybody do the same thing all the time, always, when you have such a unique skill set among all of these players.
Fourth takeaway, the Angels handed out some team awards on Saturday. Joe Adell received the team MVP. Jose Soriano received the Nick Adenhart Pitcher of the Year.
Love that.
Cool thing is, they're voted on by teammates. So their teammates said that these 2 guys were the best pitcher and the best hitter. John, do you agree? Soriano, Joe Adell, best hitter, best pitcher? Or
I think
is there a debate there?
No, I think the improvement that Joe Adell made to step forward this year and do what he's done, I think that's huge. And I think to be rewarded by that, by your coworkers, essentially, I think is really important. And also Jose Soriano pitching through the whole year and being able to do that, I think is significant. So yeah, really great to see that their teammates awarded them those awards. And I think they are well-deserved on both ends.
Angel fans, you've probably seen a million ads for hair growth products, and you thought, I'm sure that probably doesn't work because there's so many products out there. It's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything for you. That's why you should consider Nutrafol. Give it a closer look. It's the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, and it's trusted by over 1.5 million people. And right now, they are the official hair growth partner of Major League Baseball. You can feel great about what you're putting into your body with Nutrafol because it's filled with growth supplements that are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF content certified, which is the gold standard in third-party certification for supplements. Nutrafol is a simple add to your day. Just take 4 pills with a meal, no prescription needed. You're going to see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is giving our Locked On Angel listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Locked On MLB. Again, find out why Nutrafol is the best hair growth supplement brand out there right now. It's Nutrafol.com, promo code Locked On MLB. Again, Nutrafol.com, promo code Locked On MLB.
We made it. 162 games.
Woo! Grind.
Guys, we made it through another season, another disappointing season, but another season nonetheless. And just to remind everybody, Mike and I are still talking Angels baseball Monday through Friday, every single weekday. Here for you. Tell a friend. That's a reference for you. First takeaway from Sunday's game, Mike, was Mike Trout hit yet another home run.
He did.
His 26th of the year, ends the year slashing 232 average, a 359 on base, a 439 slugging percentage, a 798 OPS, and 26 home runs. Mike, what's changed for Mike this weekend?
Well, he shared with Jeff Fletcher that he figured out a solution to the issue in his swing. He said it's been bothering him, obviously, all season long, mechanical issues causing his head to move in such a way where he didn't have 2 eyes on the ball that was coming at him. And so he said that that's why he was passive at the plate, because he wasn't sure where the ball was going and it affected his approach. He didn't see the ball a lot of the time. Trout even said there were times where I would take a fastball right down the middle early in the count and I didn't expect it. I was just up there swinging and I couldn't pull the trigger. And then with 2 strikes, I started playing some defense. And he said I should be offensive at the plate because it's for offense, right? He said this year just felt very different for me. He flat out insisted, all those everydayers that are like, get Trout some glasses like Max Muncy. He said, my eyes are fine. He said it was literally the mechanics and not being able to get both eyes on the baseball. And even though these games really didn't matter, Trout said that he discovered what he needs to do this winter to return to some semblance of a player that he was in previous seasons. He says, I know what I need to work on. I think I can master it. He said he's going to try to change his 2-strike approach as well, whether it's lowering his leg kick or just trying to be a lot earlier. In the past, I would choke up, but it just made the bat a whole lot shorter. He said this offseason, I'm thinking of what to do, and I'm going to talk to some of the guys, and I'm going to figure a way out. Obviously, according to Trout, he said striking out sucks. Definitely one of my goals next year to cut down on that. And then he said, oh, and one last thing, DHing sucks. He said, I'm not on the field. I'm definitely going into the offseason to try to strengthen my knee and get the lower back to normal, his lower half back to normal, because he definitely wants to be out there next season. My question to you, John, is do you definitely want Trout in the outfield next season?
It's like I said before, if you don't make the decision, these decisions get made for you, Mike. And so I don't know what's that injection, like blood platelet injections that people often get for stuff, like get one of those in your knee, bro.
I remember that Kobe Bryant would go and do that in the off season. He'd go to Europe and get that. And he would come back like fresh as a daisy, man. That guy would be in good shape.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he can take the off season to try to find some solutions there, obviously to me, it just sounds like he's in this by himself and he's got to figure it out with, his team. And it's like, are the Angels going to help with that at all? Like, are they recommending anything? And do we want them to recommend anything? But Mike, I think that's just the problem. Like, here we are again, talking about Mike Trout and how he doesn't want to DH. But the truth is, you played more games than you ever have since 2019, bro. Like, I love him in the outfield. I love watching him play in the outfield. The other thing we have to consider here, what makes sense for the outfield, right? Like, Joe Adell needs to be in right field. maybe Mike plays a better left field than Taylor Ward, which I think could happen, right? And then Taylor Ward is kind of your designated hitter. You got to have somebody in center field. I don't know if it's Bryce Teodosio. I don't know if it's somebody they go out and get, right? But at the end of the day, I don't. You got to factor in Jorge Soler. I'm of the mind that Soler gets traded, so that's something you got to take into consideration as well. So, look, I hear you. I hear Trout, but you have to think about what's best for the team. Think about what's best for your body. Think about what's best as your role on this team, because, like I said, there's not a lot of room in that outfield right now. And this whole conundrum we're in is because you were going to play right field, move Joe to center. Joe didn't do so well out there, and he looked real great in right field. So that's where I stand on the issue. I'm sure we'll be talking about it multiple times this offseason for sure.
Yeah, second and third takeaway. I'm going to bunch these together, John, because one, I want to talk about Sam Aldegheri, but two, I need your thoughts on the third takeaway. Sam Aldegheri, he struggled. He went 4 innings and then fell apart in the 5th inning, allowed 4 hits, 4 runs in the 5th inning after allowing 1 run and 3 hits through 4 2/3. There's that stupid 4 2/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. He did say that he was trying to attack the zone. I think he just got a lot of the zone in that 5th inning. And so that was his major issue. So I think, again, this is a situation where you go, well, if the hitter got him and he was pitching and attacking the zone, I'm not going to argue with that. But John, really what I wanted to focus on before we call it a day is our third takeaway. The Angels attempted a comeback in the 9th inning, down 6-1 in the 9th. They score a run on Carter Kieboom's single, and then with 2 outs, bases loaded, Taylor Ward pinch hit Bryce Teodosio, and Ward was caught looking for strike 3.
On a full count.
Caught looking, because you certainly don't want to end the year trying to swing and win the game for your team. What are you doing, bro?
What did I text you when it happened? I said, that's just epitomizes what Taylor Ward.
I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it right now. You said Ward going down with the bases loaded to end the season. How fitting. Laugh out loud. And then you said he could have easily took that ball the other way. And then I love this text. Like, my God, dude, if that doesn't define the season that you've had, I don't know what does.
Mike, he didn't swing at anything.
No.
He didn't swing at one pitch, right?
What are you doing? Swing at anything.
Yeah. In that moment, there's no better time than to swing away, Merrill. Play MLB The Show, or what was the I'm trying to think of the arcade game that was like NFL Blitz, but it was baseball. Like, play that game, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, dude, that was the moment, and go swinging. Fell off that pitch.
What are you doing?
I just, Mike, that's the thing. That's what's frustrating about 100 RBI season, 36 home runs. It's moments like this that have happened multiple times this season, and here we are talking about, like, this is the way it ended. Yeah. And this herein lies the problem with Taylor Ward. It's moments like this where he comes up in the moment and he's staring at the pitch. I just don't understand it.
Yeah. Thanks for making it Locked On Angels your first listen of the day. Now for your second listen, check out Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, they're going to go until the World Series champion is crowned, and you're going to get local analysis on a national scale. You can find Game Night on the Locked On MLB YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, we're even going to be doing Game Night on days where there's no games, too. So we'll get you prepped for the first couple series we have on Tuesday. JD Haffern of Locked On Cardinals and I will be there for you tonight on MLB Game Night. So we hope you come and join us for that. Hey, be sure you give us a follow on Twitter at Locked On Angels. Connect with Mike and I on Twitter and Instagram at Super Halo Bros. And then whether you're watching or listening, come on over to today's show on YouTube. Get in the comments section. We read them all. You always give us great inspiration for our conversations, and we love hearing from you. We always do our best to try to get back to everybody. Mike, what do we got coming this week? Because I feel like we got a lot coming down the pipeline here, right?
Yeah, there's supposed to be exit interviews this week. There's supposed to be conversations, a press conference with Perry Manassian this week. Artie's got some decisions to make, and so we're going to prioritize what those decisions are, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow on Locked On Angels.
All right, we hope you'll come back and join us for that. Until then, my name is John, and that's my brother Mike.
And my name is Mike, and that's my brother John.
Thanks for being here with us, everybody. Happy off-season to us Angel fans. Again, I'll see you on MLB Game Night tonight. Join us live on YouTube or in your podcast feed after the fact. And then we'll see you back here for more Locked On Angels on Tuesday.
Taylor Ward had a deceptively good season.
Yeah.
The key word is deceptive.
Right.